Call the meeting to order. The Griggs County Commission, March 9th, 2018. We stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. John. Here. Dale. Here. Mark. Here. Sean. Here. Troy's here. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Been moved by Dale to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. To look at the meeting minutes from the February 23rd meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Thank you. See anything in the minutes?
Make a motion to accept.
Been moved by Mark to accept the minutes as presented. You want to add in there?
Start with the reading.
Yep.
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to the bills.
There's two that we would like to get added, please. One is for Bin City Bulk for $965.77.
That's road.
This is road. And then that's for our insurance on the new courthouse. This one will take the account over by $542 because we only budgeted $8,000. Thank you. New courthouse insurance.
For this building. The insurance premium is $8,500. So we must use last year's actual or something.
And I want to say I talked to Amber about this, and she thought this was her best guess too, was to budget that $8,000, and then we got this in $500.
Where is that in the budget?
New court. It's in the general, and it's general
New courthouse insurance.
Yep. Yep.
So you pay all this up front, or what? I get it.
Yeah, we did the entire one. Whole balance.
General expenses.
Let me try to find it there, and I'll let you know what page.
Page 18.
Schedule B.
Mm-hmm. So how did that happen? Because we talked about that, last year we had budgeted $30,000 in 17.
That was when we weren't in the new courthouse, and you guys had said that it was gonna go down, and so I did reach out to Amber about that.
How come you pay it all up front when they don't give you any
Incentive.
reduction to pay it monthly?
Do you want us to pay it monthly?
I don't know. I guess we're not borrowing the money to do it.
How did that work with the state fire and tornado thing again? Is it on account that it's, that we lease the building, we don't qualify?
We don't own it.
Yeah,
The county's gotta own it.
Government entity doesn't own it.
did we ever check into any of the other counties that are working that way? That they lease their building and see what they do, if they're accepted or not? Remember, I
No.
thought that Grand
I
Forks
think
or
there was a
somebody.
discrepancy that they
I
were
called
doing
some.
somebody else, wasn't it?
I kinda, if I remember right.
Yeah, I called some other counties,
Yeah.
and they're insured by state fire and tornado. But when I mentioned that, to state fire and tornado, they referenced the ruling that they've had, that they had asked the Attorney General's office for an opinion. And so it was tough luck. You know,
Tough luck to be us, but not tough luck to be some other county.
that's right.
That'd be correct.
And of course, he didn't really know. He just said it's something with the language of the lease. And I said, you know what, all these other counties, the leases are cookie cutters. This is the same lawyer and the same bond attorney and everything else. But he didn't want to talk about it. And my experience with the Attorney General's office has been poor at best also. So I didn't even bother calling them. So I don't,
Maybe we should have Jamie pursue it.
we could. I just,
You take another stab at it and see.
that Attorney General's office, I can't get past the receptionist in there, and she's a toughie.
You get past them, you would wish you didn't.
She's about as much fun to talk to as
Will Jamie be here today?
I haven't heard one way or the other.
there any other questions on the bills?
I moved to approve the bills as presented with the addition of the insurance bill and bids and
Been moved by Dale to approve the bills as presented with the addition of the Bin City Bulk and EMC insurance bill. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. Monthly office reports. What do I have next on the agenda? Did he send a list of the people that had agreed to sit on that? Emergency committee or whatever, what do you call that? I did not make this meeting on the 26th with the EMS director, but apparently they selected some committee members, and it sounds like the commission needs to approve them or something. You didn't get any?
I didn't receive anything.
Okay. So that must be forthcoming. Any questions on the monthly office reports?
Move to approve.
Been moved by Sean to approve the monthly office reports. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Wait.
I don't have anything. Other than we saw that we crashed the truck.
Yeah, I got those
Monday.
pictures.
Did you get them?
Yep.
Insurance guy was up today.
Is it sitting in Binford now?
Huh?
Sitting in Binford?
Yeah. Insurance guy went up there today to talk to Gilbertson's, but they've been doing it, trying to do an estimate for what it's gonna cost to fix it. And he was here and looked at the plow, and of course, I was saying the plow was,
Looks like it bent it right in half, didn't it, kinda?
we bought it for $125, and that's what we had on our insurance policy. So he said, I'll give you $125 and waive the deductible for the plow. And I said, well, I'm not gonna sign anything until you guys say. And he's gotta get it all together, and probably by Tuesday, he'll have a estimate of what
Right.
it costs.
I mean, kind of the snowplow, truck plow days are kind of over for the year,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, we didn't know, until it went in. It did thaw, of course, the week before.
No, I mean as far as needing it again right away.
Yeah, right. We did it all with the maintainers this last snow event, and so, yeah, so it's just take good time to fix it up.
If we were to get a different plow or just a different truck, would we rather have it so we've got the blade underneath also, that wing deal, or would rather not, or just have
Not
the,
always, they're fine for the blacktop, especially,
Yeah.
because you can put down pressure on there, but
otherwise they don't really,
otherwise,
You run over one of
going
them.
through
and you
trees
got
and
all
rocks
kinds.
and whatever,
sure.
Yeah, we had one, this was happening on the pavement, but the wing plowed into the Sutton Road. And it caught, and it broke off, and it landed up in the box of the truck, bent the cab, and,
Hmm.
so I mean, they're good on certain places, but.
Probably not what we use them
Yeah.
for.
This truck is, like I said, it's only got 140,000 miles on it, so it's pretty good shape. I think, it didn't look like the frame was bent or anything, it's just the plow hitch and the plow, and then, I think a fan blade broke, it's the fiberglass. And, the other, the oil tank, for the reservoir for the hydraulic lift, got a puncture in it from the cutting edge blade, and the fuel tank is bent, and the bracket that holds it in the strap were bent.
Yeah, well, it didn't break in.
Tire was cut,
Was there any glass breakage or?
glass, yes, it broke the side window. Glass flew into the
Driver's side.
driver's side, but I took him to the hospital and had him checked out, and he was, other than being sore,
Yeah, quite a ride, I'm
Okay.
sure.
yeah, he was
Pretty lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
Those under truck blades, there's so much to get damaged there. You do that to one of them and it'll be totaled out for sure.
Yeah.
It's just so complex underneath those things.
And we have been stuck with him. I mean, we
Yeah.
had to go in the ditch a little bit, well, that big blade was hanging underneath there, and it was so hard to get.
High
out.
center.
And
You know, just so much stuff to break on those things.
this truck we bought it especially for snow plowing, mainly because it's got what they say is setback axle. So the axle is back farther than way out front, so it's a lot easier to turn around on the road if you have to turn around on the road.
So is that something you wait for the summer and go buy do you buy a new one, or do you go out to the state sale and buy one of their takeoffs?
We
or-
have one sitting in the lot there.
Oh,
I think it's the same size as a 12-foot, I think, and I think we can, the frame itself that fastens onto the truck is good, except the two arms that attach to the hitch.
right.
They got bent off to the side.
But the boys up in Benford will fix that.
Yeah, or we can take it to Wright,
Right.
and they can cut
Whichever,
them off and make some
right.
new, arms for that, so.
Does that one have wheels under it too?
Pardon?
Does that have wheels
Yes,
underneath it already?
we made wheels to go into that.
Good, good.
Used to have skids, and you constantly have to build them up or replace
Certainly.
them.
Yeah, a lot of miles.
Just thankful he didn't get hurt any worse than he did. Lucky he had his seatbelt on, which you're supposed to have, and he did have it. Like sore in the shoulder, and he was holding on to his steering wheel, glass came through. Top of the cab got gouged, I think, by a tree branch probably. Windshield's cracked. But Gilbertsons were able to find a hood, and they
Hmm.
got a used door. I think that'll work. Or they can get the skin, it's a plastic or fiberglass door skin.
Really?
So they don't rust and just peel off like
Just fall off,
a
yeah.
postage stamp.
When the frame's down and it falls
Yeah.
off.
So,
First time to trade, man.
Yeah.
that's that. And
Time-wise, how long do they think, or I suppose they don't have a clue yet what it would take to fix it? How,
I don't think we're in a hurry.
no.
Sounds like
We'll
most
take
stuff
that.
is
He said they,
unbolted.
when of course we had them go out and pick it up because they had the nice
Yeah.
truck with the winch on, the winch right on, all at the town. And they were able to do the estimating of what it's gonna cost to fix it, and they can do the work, so.
Okay.
Sounds like most stuff is just detach it and put new on.
Yeah.
Tree branch went through and it bent the water filter or something and some other stuff. Lucky it didn't go through the windshield and get Gary.
Right.
Yeah.
So they said he cut a tree off. Did you see that, John?
I'm about that big around.
So you did trim some trees in the right of way this winter.
Not that way.
I guess we're starting cutting trees. But, yeah. So the bid openings, of course, is at 1:30. We do have 2 bids in. From Butlers and RDO.
How many did you request?
You don't. They just
One.
you just put your ad in the paper and they
Oh,
and they do their
There's different, items as far as they're gonna bid on probably. I've got sheets for you guys if you wanna write it down as they never reads the numbers. I don't know if Troy's gonna read the numbers or. These have got the blank sheets for the lines in there that fill in.
Well, I don't think it'll be awarded today. I think it'll just be open today.
Yeah. Might be awarded. never
Because,
know.
did you put together a budget as far as revenue for the next, expected
For
revenue?
next year, I haven't. Let's see what the bids are first.
Sure. Like you
Open
say,
it
I
now?
don't think they'll be awarded today. We'll
1:30. I don't think there'll be anybody coming.
No, thanks. But you gotta wait till
Probably should wait till 1:30.
1:30.
maybe we should have a 5-minute recess before we give them a good sitting to.
is that a motion?
So, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Call the meeting back to order. Wayne?
Want me to open the bids?
Sure.
For you.
Sure.
Too.
Surety bond for, from RDO. The 4 John Deere 772G Griggs.
These are the new ones?
Yep.
Lease agreement?
Okay. This is just a bond. It said we had to have a bond. Short. This is it. Okay. We have a page with all the minimum specs for motor grader for new. It says yes on all up to 17. It says the 40,000 BTU heater with 2 defroster fans and 10 speed controls. Explanation is 17,400 BTU hour at idle. 22,800 BTU hours at 2180 RPM.
Right.
And everything else is yes, up to 35 implemented valves are electro-hydraulic, and that is no. On the 772Gs, there's not electric. Hydraulic, and Jim had a 772 GP with the electro-hydraulic, and he didn't have problems with hydraulic valves freezing. Oh yeah, it's 32 secondary steering. Must be provided for operator safety. That is a no.
Where do these specs come from?
Specs come from a previous bid opening. And from Foster County. I didn't read through line by line. Thousand 14-foot wings, falls hitch, rear ripper, 17.5 by 25 Michelin radial tires. RDO equipment for John Deere model 772G, year 2018. Total sum bid for Cooperstown, North Dakota is $1,216,000 for
That's for outright purchase.
option A.
That's an outright purchase.
Lease,
That is if you,
7-year lease.
outside purchase, that's the outside purchase, or if you purchased it outright. And B, let's see. A, I believe, is the five-year lease. Let's purchase 1B, 1A and 1B. 1B is $1,192,000.
How can that? Okay, they were supposed to bid the option A, 7 years, 7,000 hours, option B, 5 year, 5,000 hours. How,
There you go.
so how can that affect the total price?
There should only be one.
Because of the extra warranty, I suppose, for this other.
For the 2 years. So there's not an outright purchase price in
No,
there.
that's not an outright purchase price. These are
with
the,
the-
these are the outright lease, total lease price.
Yep.
Correct?
Well, that's the purchase price if you were to just pay for the machine
Well, then,
With the warranty on
with
it?
the warranty. yeah.
So do we have an annual lease price too?
Yeah.
well, look at it.
I don't
Lease
have,
price is
look at
right
what?
here.
I don't have anything to look at.
Don't you have one of these?
Yeah, it's not filled out.
Okay, so look at number one, total sum FOB Cooperstown, and look at the options, A and B.
Right.
There can't be a different price on the outright price. So that can't be an outright price, that's gotta be the total lease price,
The difference
correct?
is the warranty, isn't it? 7,000 hours or 5,000 hours
Yep.
between A and B. So 1A is purchase price with 7,000 hours of warranty, and option B is
Yep. Bids must include for
5,000
5-year,
hours.
5,000 hour full warranty, and a 7-year,
purchase,
7,000.
but there's less warranty on the second one.
Right.
So what's? the-
So those are both purchase prices.
Purchase
Okay,
price.
okay, now I'm with you.
Yeah,
So it's not, okay, so it's total price for the,
with us.
With the warranty.
okay.
With different warranty.
Two
Let
different
me read,
warranties.
okay.
Okay, now.
Okay,
go
now the
to-
annual lease payment for 1A,
Okay,
$134,085.04.
I can't remember nothing, look, you're sitting here.
134, what was that again?
85.
8504.
$134,085.04.
So that's a 7-year lease.
And then the 1B is $128,015.09. And it says payment could be figured in arrears. So we wouldn't have to pay it this year, we could pay it next year.
Okay.
Guaranteed lease residual at the end of 7 years or 7,000 hours, $510,000, whichever comes first. And guaranteed lease residual at the end of 5 years or 5,000 hours, $897,248.40.
That's, that's the buyout, correct?
Yep, value.
So,
Okay. Then we have option 2. Used motor graders. On question number 2, it says DOC TPF depth fluid guarantee on muffler life maintenance free for 7,000 hours. It says no. This is on the
Yeah.
on the specs. And must be 2018 or newer model. It's no, of course. Do not previously sold, leased, or rented engine hour shall low less than 10 hours. That's of course no.
These are our old machines.
These are some old machines.
Well, aren't these ours?
No,
Oh,
this is not.
Well,
Something else in the pipeline.
something else.
okay.
And then chip resistant windows. They are not laminate coating on glass. And the heater is the same as it was on the previous, the new one, 17,400, 22,800. It doesn't have the Michelin XTLA tires. It has the Michelin Snow Plus tires, 17,525. Full machine warranty for 5 years or 5,000 hours or 7,000. It says no. It would be the balance of existing warranty. So if the machine is 4
Which
years
will vary
old.
from machine to machine.
And then number 34 will provide
Factory is
most
5
data.
years.
Oh,
7.
secondary steering
Oh, it
is
is.
no again.
Yep.
Yep. And bidder will provide remote data including machine location, idle hours, fuel consumption, machine health, via cellular connection at no cost of 7 years. No. Balance of existing warranty.
But does it have the capability to provide that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And so we have a 2014 John Deere 772G. Current hours are 851 hours. Has a purchase price of $259,300. And if you lease it, it would be $45,622.31 in arrears. Coverage type comprehensive plan term 60 months or
45,
$5,000.
622, 21.
30.
More questions?
Nope.
Okay, then we have another 2014 John Deere 772G.
Wayne. So what it did is on the next page is with more warranty.
Oh,
It's the
I
same
see.
tractor.
Okay. The first one is for 60 months or 5,000 hours. The next page is for 84 months or 6,000 hours. So that's where the price goes to $271,300. Purchase, lease payment of $48,480.10. Current hours, it's a different machine, all right, Troy?
What's that?
Different machine?
Same
Same
truck.
machine.
Okay, it says 951 current hours on that.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. It's, it'll be closer to 951.
Okay.
Both of them.
Okay.
And how many months? 72 months was the warranty, or 84 months?
84 months,
Yeah.
6,000 hours.
It's got the expiration date individually listed just because there's different times when it went into service.
Mhm.
So we have that listed separate when it would actually expire, so it would be 7 years from, date of purchase from Griggs County would be what's remaining on the factory warranty. So it would last you 7 years in your possession under full warranty.
Be more like 3.
Yeah, right, depending on the year in the machine.
Well, this one's a 2014, correct?
Maybe you should read these. You understand the
I
paperwork.
can, but I mean, you'd almost have to pass out a copy for everyone, because we just,
Right.
since they vary so much on the year and the hours.
This is a 2015
it's listed
year for,
individually.
So is there a bid for the machines we already own?
Yes, there is.
there's two 2015s and a 2016 listed here.
We try to simplify it as much as possible, but just, with the used machines, there's a lot of variables and stuff to pick from.
Yeah, so we need the machines we own. Must be those,
Here's, this must be the ones we own, that we listed, the
Yes.
2013s. Option number 2, used 6-wheel drive motor graders.
2013 model.
13, that's what we have, yep. 2013 models. And one that's got 4,650 hours on it. Their bid is 175,000. There's one that they, or three of them that they estimate 4,000 hours on, and they're 165,000 each.
How many hours? 35.
4,000 hours on those
4,000.
three estimates.
Could I suggest that we open these bids and then send somebody to copy all this stuff, so we have it all in front of us?
That would be good.
So you'd be in front of
I mean,
each one of us.
it's just too much
Yeah.
monkey business.
Yeah.
I agree with these guys. It's a little more complicated than you can.
Yeah. So let's just open the other bid and then send everything to be copied. and then open the other.
Do you also want the,
Might as well put that in the
Yeah, just-
envelope there.
I'll copy all that.
Bid bond for machinery, 5%. Minimum specs, yes. And CAT 143, 2018. Total sum bid 330,125
Per machine.
per machine. Okay, that's the 1A, and the 1B is 316,400. Annual lease payment of $40,516 on 1A. Annual lease payment of $42,590. That's
That's annual, that's your annual, so take everything times 4 or 3
That's
or whatever machine.
per 4.
Machine you want. That's per machine.
Residual at the end of 7 years, $153,510 for each.
Per each, yep.
And $5,181,335.
Okay, now we can copy that stuff and then we
Okay,
can go.
then he's got some used ones. 160 M2s. And ones we just copied them all. There's
Yeah,
different prices there too, so.
you'll be reading till. Okay.
Who'd spec a 40,000 BTU heater in a vehicle?
Somebody that's cold a lot, too.
When you get older.
Well, it's big enough to heat your house.
Well, he likes to drive it, it's flipped off in his shorts.
You know, back when I did do, I used to drive in my stocking feet because it was so hot on the floor,
Yeah.
but there was frost dripping off the ceiling, so.
But
When
these
the sun
new ones
comes-
are so much better. It's, even the tractors are just,
Tighter cabs.
There wasn't any insulation.
well,
in
they
the
got
cab
better
on top.
ductwork and fans,
Absolutely.
everything is better.
Some pretty good prices though, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's dependent on the revenue and what we have to work with. You know, there's,
Certain things we can cut, you know.
right, and we can go over that, I mean, so you got an idea of what's on there. You got your budgets out.
'Cause we don't-
You haven't done any
No.
penciling on what we should do for an hourly charge until after we find out what these things are gonna cost?
Yeah, and we have this township officers meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, I know.
So that'll be a good time to bring it up.
Oh, you're looking for your budget?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if you go to the page 7, C7 on your 18 budget.
Seven A.
7A.
7A is
C7A.
revenue.
Because if you go to the bottom of that, their total revenues of $1,055,461.98. That isn't actually the usable revenues. Go up line 4, line 5, and line 6, and we're listing the Senate bill money at $75,690 and the House bill money at $567,236.76. But if you notice, we're not listing any general property taxes because this sheet was used to solve for property tax. So if you do that, if you do the equation, you subtract out the House bill money, you subtract out the Senate bill money because that's used elsewhere, you come up with 412, 534.84, and you add back in the mill levy for 2018. This gives you your actual revenue, $1,008,694.90. That's the actual revenue, the disposable, usable revenue that we have in 18. Everybody understand that? Okay. So then go to C7B. And if you look at the bottom, total expenditures and appropriations. In order to spend money, you have to put it into the budget. So we have to take out the Senate bill money, right here, the 75,000. We take out the House bill money, the 567, and we take out the reserve. That leaves an actual expenditure to be spent of 1,274,865.40 is our actual expenditures, and you subtract from that our actual revenues. We have a shortfall in 2018 of 219,403.50.
Budget.
Budget shortfall.
Right.
Now that can be made up real easily by taking into account that we have 130,000 in the gas. Excuse me, we have 100,000 in the outside contractor. Is that right, Wayne?
150?
150. Excuse me. Outside contractor 150, and we have gravel of 130.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. What we haven't added in here yet is another $70,000 to satisfy, $75,000 to satisfy the turnback of the leased machines.
Well, that should be in the actual budget, wouldn't it?
No, it was never put in there. You just put the 110,000 for
For the
the.
110,000.
Yeah. So you have
It's actually
110.
more
You have
than
110, and if you use the highest number there, 130, we're about 200,000. So if we leased 4 machines, we would have about a $90,000 deficit.
Over,
If everything was spent in the budget.
If everything was spent. in the
Everything
budget.
that was
If
budgeted
everything was
was
spent in the
spent.
budget, you'd have to add another 75 to this. It would be over by 295,000. If everything was spent in the budget.
Yeah.
Which, so we can cover what we have to do this year. Here's the number you have to look at going forward. You have to create a budget that balances using $1,008,000 is really what you need to do going forward to show if we can move forward with it. So you just have to redo your
Right.
18 budget, because we don't know in 19. You can give it a 2 or 3% every year if you want, but that's really the number that we need to look at to make these things cash flow.
How we had figured those payments, was in the rear, so like, on the new one, you make your payment for the ones that come back in September, I believe, and then the first payment on the new ones, if you went that route, would be till actually 19 in September.
Yeah, but that would just save you the difference in interest, and we don't get anything in interest anyway. So, or if look at it another way, it would just extend the payment out one more year past this. So we still need to cash flow it for 5 years, no matter when you make the payment now or a year from now. It just delays it 1 year.
But you wouldn't need 200,000 or whatever. The 75 for this
No,
2013
No,
model.
you could conceivably take that 110,000 that you have then and push it out, but it still needs to get pushed out. Because now we'd be in the same place as we were before.
You're gonna make 74,000 of that 110 is gonna go away in May.
Right.
So
Yeah,
Yep. And if we don't have to pay till the next year, then that wouldn't.
but I would like to see what it costs, how much less it costs to pay it this year, because certainly the $1.2 million, you're figuring interest on that, and we're figuring
Is that,
that's.
you said 4, what's the interest rate
On a
equivalent?
lease, it's, I can get that number, but there's not really an interest rate on a lease, it's more of like just a straight rate, which I could get that number for you. But we figured that way just for what you said, we knew that, there was a payment to be made this year, and, but it wouldn't take much to figure, at the time of delivery as well, so.
I'd like to see us, if we're gonna continue to do this thing in the rear, we should almost budget enough extra money out of it. So if you're at 135, so that when we come around to the next time, we'll have enough money already put aside for, is that?
Let's fix it now and be done
Yeah,
with it.
well, that'd be the best solution. But
So- Are these leases deer, or are they RDO, or are they kinetic, or what?
This is through John Deere.
Right. But the
Is that-
lease is based on an interest rate, it's cost of money, I mean, it doesn't, no matter what you
Right,
call
but
the actual.
John Deere is usually pretty competitive.
Ours are through Caterpillar as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you went outside, you know, what's with Caterpillar and Deere, it's the residual, which that's
That's pretty
the-
easy to do, isn't it?
Outside, they probably get much less residual value.
Jamie, Mark asked a question when we were talking about insurance on this building. I called around a little bit and talked to like Grand Forks County. I can't remember if I talked to anybody else about the buildings that they built using building authorities, and those people are insured by fire and tornado, or fire and tornado. And I called out to the state, and the Attorney General told them that our lease doesn't qualify to be insured by the state. So can you find out why that is?
You know who they talked to in the Attorney General's office?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I'll make a note to do that. I've got to talk with them anyway next week, so.
But I've had poor experience at the Attorney General's office, so I didn't want to open that can of worms again.
I'll speak with them.
Okay. I think that's who the tax commissioner brought with him too, wasn't it? That's who the tax commissioner brought with him to
The silver.
the pizza ranch.
Yeah, you had to have somebody drive.
Uber won't come this far.
No.
You're still on tape, boys.
Yeah.
The reason it came up is because we have the insurance bill for this building. It was in our bills today.
Okay. I'm guessing it's the same lease that was written by the same attorneys.
I mentioned that to the guy at the state fire and tornado, but he didn't want to debate it. I mean, and I don't blame him. They asked for an attorney general's opinion, they got it, and they told us what the
I'll
results were.
call, in fact, I can step in with no call.
there.
On the call, I'm guessing from,
Wow.
actually the one that might be doing it anyway for a Nelson County issue, so. I can step out and see if she's around.
I mean, it's gonna take us a while to go through these bids, and I think John and Dale have the building, or the
Portfolio.
road portfolio.
This is
I
a
would
copy,
say
I
that-
can give you the original, but that's
We have
the
those to
last
come
one
with
you opened.
recommendations.
That,
But before we let these fellers go, let's make sure that we know what
Yeah, I mean,
they're
every
trying to tell
question's
us
on
here.
bids,
Right.
but,
there's another one.
I'm just afraid we've been
So
talking
this
circles
was
here a long
for-
time before we get anywhere.
Looks like that the 7-year lease payment is based on 7.5 interest rate.
Oh, you did the loan calculator?
Yeah. Subtracted out the residual and used the. Just yours or
How
mine?
come we have 4 of them?
The first one was from,
Cat.
RDO purchase and then RDO lease.
yeah. So the first one was from Butler, these ones are from RDO.
Oh, you gave us 3?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And the one that you currently own.
Okay.
I just printed off
And
all.
Kevin, everything in here is per machine, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, how long are the bids good for? 30 days? Okay.
I didn't get it. What's this? No prices.
Must be mine. There's a lot of paper.
Yeah. There.
That's it.
That's
RDO. How many should we have from RDO? 2?
3.
There's the used one. 2 used, are used, and the used. Oh.
That must be somebody else's.
I got more now.
That's just written in there, 722.
I've only got 2 from RDO.
I got 4, 5.
Hmm?
This one was from Buckley. And all these were from RDO. Did everything?
That's just a
I
spec.
got 3 RDOs and
One Butler, right?
RDO hours, RDO used, and then the new.
And then one Butler new.
RDO new,
Butler's new. and
Butler
used
new
ones
and
in there.
used in the same bid.
Okay.
RDO used. Lease or purchase. And then this one must be, this is ours, right?
Yeah. Should be 4 of them.
Those just have one line written in.
Hmm?
Those just said 772G and no numbers.
No numbers.
Okay, so these all get thrown away?
I guess so.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, the one with no numbers in it?
Yeah.
No, I think
Were your prices in the rears too?
No.
So if that was priced in the rears, it should reduce the total cost of those machines by the interest rate for 1 year, times the total cost for 1 year. Correct? If you're delaying the payment for a year, you're paying interest on the money, the total cost for one extra year. So it should reduce 1.2 by 7.5%, which is $86,000, is that right? Approximately.
$90,000.
90?
I mean, yeah, that's if that interest rate assumption was correct, that seems awful high.
So I subtracted the residual from the purchase price and then put it over 7 years and matched the payment, and came at 7.5%.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that.
Well, doing it the other way, it'll be higher yet, if you carry the residual out and pay interest on the residual the whole time too. Right? Can you get us that number?
Yeah, I actually texted him, so I can call him if you want me to step out, and I can even put it on speakerphone and keep it available.
We just need the number.
I mean, if the interest rate is 7.5%, that's $91,000 on 1.2 million. Which, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Interest can either work against you or for you.
It will be less, but how I mean, I can try to get my phone if you want, put him on speaker.
Well, I just took the 1,216,000. I subtracted the 510,000, and then I put that over 7 years. Put the payment in, $134,000 a year payment, and it came to 7.53% interest. If you did it the other way, I mean, and carried the interest on the residual, it's higher yet. Money's money.
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I have a question if we could, if I could get it answered without people rolling around on the ground. But what's the advantage of your cat over a John Deere?
The advantage of the cat over John Deere? I guess safety features is what we add on with our braking system. And that secondary steering, that's standard in ours, I guess, so the braking on the Deeres, they brake on their axle, we brake on our individual wheels. They're both good machines, I'm not gonna sit here and say that their machine isn't, I guess.
I'm gonna ask them the same question
Yep.
when we're done, so.
Yep. No, we really brag about our hoses, that we got the best hoses in the market, we don't have much problems with our hoses, so. It's the little things that add up to be a lot. They're both under warranty, if they're both covered under warranty, that's the biggest thing, I guess.
Electrical connections, everybody kind of puts them together the same way?
I would say so, yes. This being age with all our manufacturers, it's, I think across the board, they're all made
Your engine is made where?
in Illinois.
Okay.
So-
All the components with that, or?
In case someone made a
Yep,
mistake.
they're all within our factories in Little Rock, Arkansas. Our water blocks are made in Illinois. And they come back
4 years.
How many machines?
Four machines.
Peoria.
Right, no, so it's
Okay, now it's your chance.
Yeah, same, I mean, it's a lot of it's, operator preference.
The monitor shows you, it not only gives you a code, but it also tells you what it is, so you can troubleshoot a lot of the issues right from the cab, and then we can, with our JD Link, we can But our techs can actually diagnose from the shop, so when if they need to come out, they bring the tools and the parts they would need with them. And if there's a software update, it can be downloaded remotely. We had an instance in Hankinson where that was the case. It had an issue, and the operator was able to download the software right from the machine, and then saved us a trip.
Sure.
The machines all built in the Quad Cities. Electrical components are much like everyone else. It's all the weather pack connectors. Cooling package is very accessible, and what stack coolers there are on hinges, so they can all be slid out and cleaned out very easily. Standard reversing fan, LED lights. There's lots of options. As much as you want to spend, but yeah, they're all
Sure.
quality machines. Either one of us would be in here if we didn't make a good product.
That's right. Hydraulics, everybody kind of got the same power of hydraulics. It's easier to move the blade when it's full of dirt and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You won't have that an issue.
Yeah.
We have stackable our hydraulics, we don't steal from anywhere at all. Ours are individual, so if you're lifting your snow wing up and doing the moldboard at the same time at all, there's no slowdown in our rate.
Okay. So if I understand that right, your spools are stacked out just like my tractor is,
Similar. Yeah.
similar to that. And yours are,
Individual, so we don't steal hydraulics from one source to the other.
so it wouldn't be the same line to feed them all. You'll have an individual line that comes to each one.
Yep.
Otherwise, the pumps are rated the same, the hydraulic pumps are, everybody's putting out same gallons per minute and that sort of thing. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question for both you guys. Looking at the lease payments on RDO, the lease payment for the 7-year is higher than the lease payment for the 5-year, but on Butler, the lease payment per year on the 7-year lease is lower than the lease payment per year in the 5-year lease.
Yeah, that's what yours usually are. 7 years, you're financing, you're paying on it. Our lease payments are usually lower on the 7 years. I think that reflects the residual after the.
What are you saying?
I think that might be the arrears thing too, over the course of that 7 years. Because you're paying that interest a year late for 7 years instead of 5. I'd have to have a financial calculator to give you that number to to confirm that, but I know Kevin's numbers are, they're
Yep.
not in arrears, so there's gonna be a difference there.
So that brings me to my next question. So then if you look at the residual on both machines, on the Butler machine at 5 years, it's worth $153,510. The RDO machine at 5 years is worth $127,500, which is to our advantage.
Yep.
But then you go to the that's a 7 year. Then you go to the 5 year, and then it's way whacked the other way. Butler has a $181,335 at 5 years, and the RDO machine now is $224,000. So the little bit you would save up front on the RDO machine on a 5-year lease, you lose on the end by a long ways, because you're gonna have to pay it in the end if you want to buy the machine back out. But that's probably reflective of they probably didn't figure the last lease payment being made in there.
No, it is.
It is?
Yep.
Well, then it's really goofy.
So basically, you have to, in the rears, you make the payment and then turn it in.
Right, yeah, and I know, but
But yeah, no, it is with 5 payments.
But you think, and now I'm gonna assume your 7.5% is right. So that first payment, you make a lease payment of 134,000, 91,000 of that went to interest.
Yep.
You're going nowhere in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's why you end up that way.
yeah, but it's about double, so it's $40,000 on 5 years, it's $200,000 difference in the overall residual.
Right.
Yeah. Once again, not comparing apples to apples.
Per machine.
Well, it's hard for these guys to
I know.
do that unless they were sitting at the same desk when they.
Sure.
Well, I mean, all you can do is look at the purchase price of it. But the purchase price is reflective on the financing option.
Right.
What we really need to compare these machines is a flat out, straight out purchase price.
You got that on top.
No, we don't. Can't be, because they worked it backwards, because the purchase price for a 5-year machine is less than the purchase price for a 7-year machine, so it isn't a straight out purchase price. It's reflective of interest, finance cost.
But if you would just, that would be the purchase price if you were to buy all 4 with the number what we gave, because the difference in price is the warranty.
Right.
You'd ask for a 5-year, 5,000 purchase price, and then a 7-year, 7,000. So that's the difference in the
So-
2 numbers.
16,000.
I
24,000.
would venture Kevin would say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the warranty is worth $3,000 per machine down on the other end of the period. Hey, bear with me.
You're not gonna answer that question. Because it won't come out right when you ask the next one.
How do you know what the next one is?
I know what the next one is.
Because when we were going to extend these leases, they were $6,000 per machine for the warranty. That was my next question.
So it's cheaper to buy it ahead of time. Than
Right. So on the CAT machines, then, is the $330,000 per machine, is that a straight out price? That's reflective of the warranty then also.
Yep, everything's in there.
Okay. So that's a 14,000.
$7,000 per year cost on that warranty on the other end.
Mm-hmm. No more than that. There's $14,000 difference in those machines, in the plans there on one machine.
For 2 years, $7,000 per machine per year.
It's one machine.
No, that's why it's per machine. It's one
Yeah.
machine.
Or
2 years. 14,000 difference.
No, I mean, if you had 4 machines, it would be $30,000 a year
Oh,
difference.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, well then, if it's my money, I'm gonna say I only want a 5-year warranty.
No, I'm talking on the Butler machines. There's $14,000 difference in those two. That's for one machine.
Oh,
Right.
For warranty,
Yeah.
but 2 years, so it's 7,000
per year,
per year
per machine.
per machine.
And another one, there's $20,000 on 4 machines for 2 years. So it's
24,000.
24,000. Right.
$3,000 per machine per
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So the Butler machine, the Butler warranty is
More expensive.
twice as much. Correct?
That's how I look at it.
So is there any way we can see the outright purchase? Can we see how you arrived at all this stuff? Rather than breaking it down to the end number, can we see the purchase price, the straight out price of the machine and the warranty cost per year, per machine, or per dollar?
I can get you that.
I mean, that's how you guys figure it. You put in a dollar amount for the warranty.
But is there
dollars?
is there any cost to the warranty for the first 5 years?
Yeah, yep.
So you're buying that warranty when it comes off the lot.
Yep, as soon as we,
It's not like a farm tractor, you got 3 years warranty.
nope.
There's no warranty coming off the lot.
There's standard is 1 year,
Okay.
unlimited hours is the standard warranty, and then after that, because
Okay,
they can't, everyone's different, so they just tailor it to the customer, so there's a ton of different, you can buy powertrain hydraulic, just engine, just powertrain.
I
So
see.
there's a lot of different,
I mean, these are all extended warranties.
these were full machine, all deductibles, all travel included, so, you're only out of pocket in repairs and do just preventive maintenance.
Tires
Or
and
damage,
engine
yeah.
oil and
Wear
filters.
items or
Mhm.
stuff, so.
So what does
Each
that
of the
cost per
wiper blades.
1,000? What does that cost per machine? The warranties.
I can get you that, I don't have it.
Yeah, I can pull it up on my computer, but,
I mean, that's the only way you're gonna compare apples to apples.
I agree with you. The reason that I keep thinking that is, what risk do we take by not buying that expensive warranty?
And the only way to calculate the risk is to know what the warranty costs.
That's what, yeah, no, right.
So we just did this for another county that was asking that same question, and we printed off 3 machines that they've had that are 3-4 years old.
Yep.
One machine we they would have spent about $50,000 if they didn't have warranty, and they lost a transmission and some other things. One machine was about 10, and we've had one claim in 3 years. So it's pretty cheap. If we break it down, it's pretty cheap insurance to buy the warranty. We've never had a county not buy extended warranty.
Well, can you let us decide if it's cheap by telling us what it costs?
Yeah.
I would like to see that,
Yeah,
just
so
so
I mean, I wouldn't go
just so
buy-
I'm comfortable with it. I mean, we're buying, it's you're buying insurance.
Yeah.
And you have the history on the 4 machines that we own, that we are leasing currently, right?
I think we had that number already.
What's that?
I think we got that number.
Oh, did we?
We did, but
Yeah.
we've never been able to see what it costs actually per year for the warranty.
No, but how much has been spent on these machines?
I think $90,000. Is that correct?
About 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got all the printout from you
Yep.
guys, but then we did a turbo after that.
Right, yep. I thought it was about 90.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that just for my own.
So I know, if I may speak,
Yep.
they put the 4 machines together and I did per machine. If you figure it out, their 5-year machine is $298,000 and their 7-year machine is at $304. Am I reading that right? Per machine?
I did the other way. I equated it back to, hang on here. 1216000 divided by 4. 301,000.
304.
304,000.
Well, God.
Then the other one is 298. Is that
That's
right?
just, you gotta quit using that Apple calculator.
Well, it's not the calculator, it's my finger.
So the difference between their 5-year and 7-year machines is $6,000 per
304.
machine.
Yes.
Get it wrong. Yeah, but it'd be fun to know what, how much of that is warranty and that included in that price.
I know, they're gonna get that for us, so.
Yep.
Let's do look at this one.
They talk about rippers and no rippers. Is that the 3-point or, I mean,
Yes, in the back of the machine.
so you need that to carry your packer?
Packers.
Okay. Because those machines that you don't have, there's no 3-points on them?
The used ones, no. That's what I noted, there's no rippers on them.
Yep. Because those packers are, I don't know, they just bought them right before we got in here, right? Are there any other questions that you guys have for these fellows? I got one more question.
This is outside this bid, because we asked for a bid, but are we able to negotiate in the machines we have when we turn them back? Are we able to negotiate it would like to keep them, can we negotiate a price, or does that have to be a bid price?
Well, is the number in here the same as what's in the contract, the buyout in the contract?
Little bit
Because
less.
we added warranty, extra warranty,
Okay,
but,
We had 2 years of warranty and 2 years of guaranteed maintenance, and that price is actually cheaper than what the year balloon is.
okay.
so we've already, we did some.
Because you guys had mentioned that before, that you were a little bit upside down on these machines.
Yep.
So that cell phone interface deal, that's kind of the OnStar of John Deere?
Yeah,
Sort of.
Link.
So you're doing that now with our
Okay,
machines?
something real similar?
Yep.
So you guys are keeping track of our stuff now?
That expired.
What's that?
The contract expired.
Yeah.
We don't monitor it unless you want us to, but if you give us permission, if there's codes, then it'll get sent to us, like if there's a red alert, then we'll get an email along with whoever, you guys have designated, so, but we don't do it like on a daily basis
Okay.
unless you want.
So
us
you
to.
don't keep track of the service intervals and stuff like that
Nope.
either?
But we can, but,
So can you?
Like I get an email if I got a low tire on my pickup.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So does, I assume that equipment gives GPS tracking, positioning also?
Yeah.
And so you could print out the position of the, you could put alarms in there if the blades sit for more than 10 minutes.
Idle time, working time, printer, you can print it out on your laptop, you have a township supervisor on, you've been on your roads.
We could upload it to the county website so anybody could go on there and see where the machines have been in the last month?
Yep.
Yep.
You can make it as thorough as you want, or you can choke yourself with data if you want. You can geofence it, so if a blade goes outside the area, you get a notification. You can put a curfew, so if it starts after 11 p.m. and before 5 p.m., you get an email or text message as well.
Are there other counties that put it up on the website so people can access that?
No.
It's not real time though, it has to be downloaded. It's real time to you people, but the interface isn't real time onto like a existing, well, I suppose it is if we put
Yeah,
it on the Wi-Fi.
it is, but this is, I've never seen anybody do it for public eye. It's usually an auditor or road superintendent, because operators would really, I think, have backlash over that because the public is already on them already about not being where I'm supposed to be, and then like, I've never seen it on the public side. I've always seen an auditor road
All
superintendent.
depends on who you believe they're working for.
Right.
Yeah, you could have.
It can be though, very easily.
Would you be able to use that for billing?
Yep.
So, you know, like with townships, you'd know how long they were in each township?
Yep.
It'd show you miles, show you duration.
You know,
We have,
how long you've been there?
we have this stuff in all the federal firefighting equipment, the airplanes, everything. It tracks everything real time.
Yep.
Put parameters in wherever you want it.
How often are you, do we get that data? Is it daily or is it?
You can have an app.
Well, it'll
on your
be
phone.
streaming.
It'll stream it.
And then how long, it depends on how often you want the machine to ping. So you can have that set up for hourly or every 6 hours or daily or weekly or.
Oh.
But how does,
You could
you know,
look
how
to
does
see
that
if your
work?
planes are sitting on the ramp.
I'm just thinking
Right
about,
Oh.
okay,
Every 2 seconds or
I'm on the township board with Cooperstown. In order to get to Clearfield, you're gonna drive through Cooperstown every time. Whether they're driving empty or just driving out. So does that work that the time that he's just driving to Clearfield?
When the key is on, it's recording,
Okay,
and then it lays everything over a Google Earth map. So you would establish a crumb trail. Then you can click on that instant crumb, and then you could tell what his ground speed was, what gear he was in, how much fuel he burned.
okay, so you'd have it set up to say that, our billing time is gonna be at 5 miles an hour or 6 miles an hour and less. When you're going in road gear down the thing, you're transporting to a different township or doing whatever, correct?
Theoretically, you could.
I mean, it just depends on how complicated you wanna get it.
Yeah, I don't even think that would need to be done, but it would be nice to.
Because otherwise I'm gonna get billed every time we come to town at night and every time we go in
Yeah,
out in the morning.
But I mean, that's the cost of the machine anyway. Somebody has to be billed that.
Sure.
And you know, that has to be shared amongst all the counties anyway.
Townships.
Well, yeah. But like
You
the
just have to
aircraft-
make sure they don't eat lunch in your township.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like we just have a website we log on to. I can see the airplanes, I can see all our ground rigs. They
Sure.
ping every 2 seconds.
Mhm.
You know, and you can, same thing, you click on it, where are they at, where they're doing, what's the speed. It makes it nice for keeping track of everything. And it would be nice for the miles traveled in a township. From the point of origin, not just in the township. Okay.
Would you have, if we go through this process and decide to go with one of the electronic data programs you have, do you have staff that can
They have their
come
own support group, they come out and
help you get it started?
and then there's a follow-up at least probably 2 times just to make sure everything's going smoothly.
And you're figuring it out?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Wayne's Norwegian might take 4 times.
I
Well,
won't
you
have
pro-
to, you guys will, so.
Yeah.
You probably have it run in a treasurer's office, from that standpoint,
Oh.
for the billing and stuff. Wouldn't you?
I don't know if we could get that precise with it. I mean,
Oh,
you could check. I mean, I think the operators maybe would use it so that they could run 2 townships together. I think, Elaine, or something, you know, rather than stopping the line and going back
Because the
and forth.
county,
If we could get them to do that, I mean, not the operators, if we get the townships to agree to,
because they're doing,
don't stop the line, just blade it through.
they're probably doing the county roads while they're in the township too, so.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And you can break that service down, what it costs, for as a monthly service,
It's,
quarterly.
it's included in a 5-year, and then after that, it's part of it, or you don't get an option, you have to take it.
But how would, okay. So,
Yours
but
is
how
figured.
about if we wanted to keep it on the machine, if we decided to buy the machines we have and wanted to keep it on
It's
them?
about 600 a year per
The
machine.
machine,
Well, that's not bad.
same thing?
Yep. It's like 640 and then that's just an annual.
That's pretty similar to what we. Think of other questions. I never did get an answer. Is the price on the machines we have still negotiable?
Maybe, I would say probably not too much.
Still not an answer, is it?
I went to Deer once, but they can always try again. I went to Deer, say no.
You gotta look at the warranty. Is it extended for
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, it's on the bottom there, I think it's sometime in 2020 that it's
Yeah.
extended to.
Well, we need to look and see what the warranty actually costs.
Received roughly $4,500 in benefit per machine per year in warranty charges on the ones we own.
We have received, yeah. That's taking, that's taking a few assumptions, though, because would we actually pay that full price? Would we do some of that stuff ourselves, or would we have people come out? You know, that's full retail on all the maintenance on it. How much of that could we do ourselves by parts sent out, or, but yeah, you're right, that's what it came to.
Do you see many county shops doing any maintenance themselves, or?
They do maintenance, but I hardly see any without warranty. One thing about our warranty is if you're down, if you're not back up and running within 24 to 48 hours, we're bringing you a machine, so you're not down.
We call that the audio promise we have as well, so, and it's in your bid spec.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? So we just want a comprehensive schedule on the cost of those warranties, is that what you guys are looking for?
Yeah, just an itemized schedule on the cost of how you arrived, the inputs that you used to arrive at the prices you gave us. So that somebody can sit down and say, okay, well, here's the cost of the machine, here's what the warranty's costing, here's the finance charge, here's the interest rate on it, because there's other lease options, there's outside lease companies, you know, that could be used also. It'd be nice to make comparative evaluations on this stuff.
Do you guys do much with Kinetic or any of those other lease companies?
Pretty much just
Caterpillar.
We've done some at the bank for some people that have, I thought that was construction equipment, but it must not have been you guys, because Kinetic doesn't.
Straight up price with the lease.
They may do a lease, but
That's
that's
a
just
straight
straight
up price, but
You'll
it-
find
it-
there's no lease on it, it's really,
There
really
is
low.
no lease.
Okay.
Gear puts, you know,
Right,
Cat
so-
does too,
Right.
it's their own machine, but they're
Yeah.
a little less risk for them, so.
Yeah, that's always.
That's
And
a
Kinetic
straight up
doesn't
cost,
fund their
but they're
leases.
gonna- But with this cost, they're gonna.
You know,
extend the warranty.
That's why we've been involved with them at the bank.
Good question. I think that-
They write the lease, but the bank funds it, you know. Right.
You gotta be able to do a walk-away lease.
What's that?
Gotta do a walk-away lease, so that, so they're guaranteeing what the residuals, so they're not upside down at the end.
Right. And they're probably purchasing the machine from
Yeah.
RDO or somebody
Yeah.
to lease it, or
So,
Does this come back next meeting?
gonna have to. Those, you guys can send that stuff to Wayne, so you don't have to drive all the way back up here again or whatever. Okay? Anything else? If we think of anything, we'll let Wayne know.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
thanks for coming, guys.
I've never.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Never looked at these things before.
I do. Did you want the originals?
Thank you.
I need them, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Is Andy Purrs the next thing on here?
My done?
Just for reference, buying out those 4 new machines, down to 0 left out on them, 5 years, 5%, $154,000.
Just buying them outright and borrowing money from someplace?
Yeah, at 5%.
And if you borrow the money from a local bank, you're gonna get it cheaper than 5%.
Yeah.
They're municipal loans, you're gonna borrow that money for 3%. It's gonna have a 4.3% return for the bank.
And if you had a $50,000 residual payment after residual value after 5 years, it'd be down under 100.
Warranty.
It doesn't look like it matters. It doesn't look like it matters if we have a warranty or not, we're gonna pay one way or the other.
By paying $30,000 out in one crack or $20,000.
No, I'll get that. No, we're
It's
paying,
gonna cost
we're
us-
paying it every year anyway, Wayne.
Yeah, it's gonna cost us the same.
Yeah.
We just gotta make sure we budget for it. You know,
You'd have to have a different repair budget,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you'd have the opportunity to not spend it too.
Well, it might not be, but you're gonna have to have that in savings.
No.
And that's what we
Well, that was 2 years of warranty on those machines, or on our machines already. That would get us out till 29 of 2020.
Right?
So so there'd only be then you could make the decision after that. But so they would be under warranty for quite some time.
2
yet.
years, yeah. Or 2.5, yeah.
And if you took that value down to 470, now you'd be at 108,000 a year for 5 years, and then you would be getting close to meeting the budgeted
Oh, they
numbers.
didn't bid our machines
No.
to lease though.
They give us a straight out price. No, I figured the lease on them.
Oh,
That 165,000 is straight out for the machine with warranty for 2 more years on it.
yep.
And then I took 200,000 off there. I give them a $50,000 residual value after 5 years, and then spread it over 5 years.
Oh.
And then you'd be at 108,000.
So you'd run them for 3 years with no warranty.
Well, no, you can make that decision. You could make that decision
In 2 years.
from now.
Okay.
And go to the outside market to get a warranty if you wanted, or not, or trade them, or whatever.
Okay.
But you would own them after 5 years. You would have that equity in those machines, if you wanted to do it that way. But we can look at everything. We got to look at it. We just got to.
And they'd have 6,500 hours on 7,000.
Yeah, or 10 if you got a bad winters.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, there's no use talking about. Let's get all the numbers back. Let's see what it looks like.
Thanks, Wayne.
Right.
Thanks, Wayne.
Okay, North Dakota PERS. Of course, I missed that meeting, but I didn't talk to her. I texted her or emailed her. Because one of the questions that John asked between the meetings was, so what happens if we just give everybody that 15% allowance in their salary and they can decide if they want to be in PERS or not? And then they could go with the 401k if we we'd have to make a decision at that point whether we establish a 401k plan for the employees, but I'm assuming that we would, for the simple reason that if we did this, we would probably not even offer North Dakota PERS to any new hires.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an assumption, but I'm just,
the existing employees would be under North Dakota PERS, but
they'd have the option.
But the question she didn't answer is whether or not we can run North Dakota PERS and a 401k side by side. So we need to have that put to her again in a letter.
And the other question that I asked, because and I haven't been around, I've only worked for 2 other companies that had defined benefit plans, but both of them sunsetted. So in the case of Cheyenne Valley, we had a defined benefit plan that the company paid into until you had 31 years of service, and then they quit. Because your retirement was gonna be 2/3 of your high 5 salary. So then the company is done paying in there. And people would, then we call them quasi-retire because they'd stay working, but we weren't putting into their retirement anymore. And I didn't know how North Dakota PERS worked, so I called out there and you never are done paying into there. So let's just say somebody starts working here doing whatever they do when they're 20 years old. If they work here till they're 70, the way the formula works, when they retire, their salary, retirement salary, would be larger than their working salary was. Because the formula is
2% per year, I think, is what it is.
2% per year of service.
Yeah.
So if you work for 52 years, you'll get 104% of your last year's salary. And it isn't a 5 or it's the,
Average of the last 5 years.
is it 5? She
Three-
didn't really.
3 or 5.
Anyway,
5, I
she didn't give me that number, but anyway, so the thing never ends. And the reason that I asked that question is because, okay, if there's a sunset on it and we have a bunch of employees with a bunch of experience, are these people are those premiums gonna go away? And if we offer this, then we just commit to 15% for the foreseeable future. But it wouldn't matter because it doesn't sunset
Right, so we are obligated to 15% for the foreseeable future, yeah.
until those people retire. Yep.
Yep. So really, none of the questions got answered, because until we formally request to be able to program, they won't give us
It's an
any
action.
information.
Yeah. I'm not, I don't have any proof of this, but my gut feeling is it will be undoable number.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
So the real question in my mind is, can we discontinue offering this to new hires and keep doing it with the people that are already here until it goes away onesie, twosie at a time? And I don't know why that would be a problem, because the actuarial group is so huge. You know, it's this, anybody that works for the county or the state or a school. So I can't imagine that we wouldn't be able to do that. And you can obviously run a 401k next to it, because we could start a 401k right now and let the employees contribute to it today. That wouldn't have any effect on that.
No, but my question was, my scenario was, okay, say we went tomorrow, we went to 401k for new hires. And say within 5 years, we had a complete turnover in the existing employees that were on the PERS. Although there were still people that were on PERS retirement, would our obligation be gone?
Yes. Has to be.
I'm not so sure.
I'm not either. The only data I could find out was on some cities in California, and from the time they opted not to have everybody on their retirement program was the base number that they used for the enrollment in the program. So let's say in our case, if we decided to opt out today, we'd have a base number of 12 employees at whatever their base salary was. We would be obligated to that forever. That's why there's no escape from it, like on some of those plans. I don't know if this one's the same way, but that's why there's no escape. And that's why they would make it prohibitive to go.
That is, I don't believe that. That would never hold up in a court.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Doesn't count. Because if they don't participate, then they have to buy all. It's either or. You either participate.
You're
or don't.
participating as long as you're an employee, and once you're not an employee anymore, the actuarial, your benefit ends. The only thing you're getting at that from that point on is the annuity that's based on the contribution that's already been collected on your behalf.
I know. Well, that's why I wanted the question answered.
Good Lord.
That's why I wanted the question answered. That's why I asked it, and it never got answered. Can we run them side by side, and what does it cost to get out?
I'm not so sure she understood the question.
Would you like me to give her a call?
No. Well, no, I mean, she understood the question because she sent the century code telling us why we couldn't have any of this or any of this information until we actually made a formal request.
But this is a severance agreement. This is discontinuing participation. We're not gonna do that. I wouldn't propose that we do that.
No,
This is what's it gonna cost to quit today with Connie, who's been in the program for a long, long time.
Yeah.
To do what? To get her to the 85? I mean, I don't get it.
No, I think you're talking about new employees, right?
Well,
You're talking about
right,
new
that's what I'm
employees.
talking about, but
Yeah.
so the question was, can you run them side by side?
Yeah.
And then without being in the PERS, and I'm not so sure
Or you
that
all or
that's allowed
nothing, or-
because the program, the PERS, it's a pyramid scheme. It has to have new people in it to keep paying for the people that are out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to perpetuate itself or it's gonna fail.
That's what I think. And I thought
So you
we could
can't offer it to, employees have to participate in PERS if they're,
working if they're in a. That's what I.
I'm
think.
guessing it's all or none.
That's what I thought. That's what she said. Is you have to be all or none.
Well, she never said that.
Oh.
She said she'd get back to us, but she didn't get back to us. That's the question. Do we have to be all or none? Can we opt out and have a new employees on a 401k plan?
Until ours are,
till
till they're gone through. Till the rest are gone
employees
through.
run through the system
Yeah.
and then we're out.
I bet they won't let it.
I bet they won't either.
What's that? You don't think they'll let us phase it out? You don't, huh?
Without any new blood.
It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it is.
Pyramid. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll ask the question. And then, I mean, maybe that involves just what she says here. Maybe we have to make a formal request to withdraw before we get any of these answers.
I don't want to withdraw.
I know, but maybe we don't get the answer to this until we make a formal request.
Phase out. This is a withdrawal. That's not exactly what I was.
I know, but we don't have to accept it. She's just saying you have to make the request in order for them to give us the numbers we want to know. Then somebody will give us all these actuarial numbers that we're not talking about, and then we can answer the questions.
So basically what the letter is saying, it's all or nothing.
Well, I don't know, read this.
Yeah.
But this is withdrawal.
Withdrawal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's what we're talking about.
No.
The withdrawal would be when the last employee retires.
Where did Dale go?
Right there.
What do you guys want to do with this PERS?
Let's just see if she can answer those couple of questions first.
You want me to keep emailing her or something?
Yeah, just some
Yes,
answers.
Sam.
Yeah.
I can call her.
Or Troy.
Whichever.
So what are your two questions? Phase out.
Phase out rather than withdrawal.
And once all employees are phased out, is there any longer an obligation?
Any?
How do the employees feel? Would they care? Would they rather be in PERS? Would they rather have 401k?
They're not here yet.
401? Well, I understand that.
I guess I haven't spoke to anybody about this.
If we haven't hired them yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
then we can make it a condition of employment. For the existing employees, anybody that's been here for a long time is going to stay where they're at.
Oh, absolutely.
For a new employee, if I was me, I'd probably get out. Because if we're going to match that 15%,
Sure.
people don't work at the same place for 40 years anymore.
Yeah.
then you'd have the money.
Then they can take it and roll it to wherever they want.
Or even if you did.
But it's kind of risky. The PERS program's kind of risky for
For the employee.
elected officials. Because you don't, if you're not an elected official anymore, you're not in the PERS program and you don't have anywhere to roll it into. So you get the buyout and you don't get much of a buyout.
Buyout or wait till your retirement age.
But might not even make it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's combined of 85, what happens?
Or 65 is, it's either or, your age or.
You'd get it when you get 65, but it would be a pit,
Right,
you know, because it's not gonna grow for you.
right. So in that case, the 401K would be a far better plan.
Mm-hmm. You can take it with you.
Easier. Okay. I shall do that. B&D letter from LaDonna. Oh, do we need to recess and call a building authority meeting?
Since I've been appointed, I don't believe I'm on the building authority.
We are now. Ron wouldn't accept it, and I don't think, are you on there? You
No,
are,
it's
Dana.
us three.
Yeah,
Well, let's just do it after the meeting then.
okay.
But I still think it still has to be noticed because it's county business too.
It's been noticed.
Yeah, no, but any time that you guys call one, I know you guys have never called one.
Oh, it doesn't say.
Oh,
But you guys are discussing fee, which kind of stinks, but it still has to be noticed, I suppose, because it's county business.
It's building authority business.
I suppose,
It's building authority business. They never noticed one meeting. Did they have building authority?
No, but you guys are commissioners and it's still county business too.
Oh, sure.
I suppose you could recess
Pete's Peppers.
and,
Huh?
Oh, for Pete's Peppers.
and then Sean and I could take a break and you guys gotta keep working and then we'll come back when you're done.
Well, this is gonna take 6 seconds,
Yeah.
right?
We could attend their meeting.
Yeah, we can protest.
Let's just keep going here. So, was somebody going to come on this social services deal? Or is this my deal because I'm on the board?
That's your deal, yes.
The social services has requested that we let them call
Begin their work week
on Friday at 4
Friday
o'clock
at 4, yeah.
instead of Monday at 8. Because they get weekend calls and then they end up paying overtime and they don't have enough money to pay overtime. If they did it the other way, they could use comp. Because the people already got the 40 hours in
Sure.
on Friday night and they
Sure.
get a phone call and then they gotta pay
So
them
if they work the
overtime.
weekend, they might have their 40 in by
Sure.
Wednesday afternoon, so you take the rest of the week off.
Yeah.
And it used to be that way and we changed it. So do you have heartburn over that? Okay,
I think that sounds good.
motion?
Why don't you have that come from here? Make your motion. It's your portfolio.
Good. I'll move we allow social services to start their work week on Friday afternoons at 4 o'clock.
It's been moved by Sean to move the social services beginning of work week to Friday at 4 o'clock. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This mailboxes thing, so, and this was Mary's idea, and I don't know if she's talked to anybody else in the courthouse. No.
I haven't heard anything.
So, every department has a mailbox up at the courthouse. We're
Post
paying
office.
about, post office, I mean, we're paying about $900 a year for mailbox rent up there.
Hmm.
880, something like that. So what she is proposing is that we buy a bank of mailboxes and bolt them to the wall out here in the lobby so that there's not 8 cars piling up at the post office every morning. Because they're like $1,200, and then the mail would get delivered here, and we wouldn't be paying people to run to the post office every morning to get their mail.
Sounds like a good plan to me. How come we didn't think of that?
I don't even remember why it came up. Do you know?
She just had people were running all the time, and she kind of figured out, was like, what?
You know, if we really wanted to do the right thing, we'd have a big basket at the auditor's window, and we'd have one person make a trip up there at 3 o'clock too. But I don't know if that can happen.
Probably they'll still have to be mail dropped off at the end of the
That's what I was just
Yeah,
talking about.
Just have one.
Well, I think that's what they do already.
We do that. One person goes and takes the mail.
Oh, okay.
But we can't take social services mail.
You can too.
Well, that's.
Are you going to open it on the way up there? The mailman delivers it. Why can't we?
That's what we were.
Yeah,
all of us.
I'm not getting mad at you. I just think that's the funniest thing I've heard in my life.
So, but yeah,
It's not like we have control over it after it gets to the post office. Holy cow, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But we switch. We alternate like every week.
Okay.
It's the
Different-
auditors.
Sure.
Yeah, and then.
Good plan.
Yep.
But you can't do that going and getting it.
No, one vehicle goes though.
Oh, it
Not
does.
all of us go. We all go at one time.
Oh, I
one
thought
person.
everybody was going.
No, one person from the office usually goes, unless you have other things that you need to do. Then Lori
From
will
each
get
office,
it.
though.
What?
From each office.
One person from each office.
Yeah, one person all 6 people in one vehicle, or 4 people in one
Yeah,
vehicle.
unless you're the only one in your office, then
Right.
I usually give the keys to somebody else. They'll get my mail for me. So
Wouldn't it be easier to walk out in the front lobby and get it?
probably.
And then they deliver it right to that spot? Would they do that, or would?
Yes, they
This is a route out here. So
Yeah, or would we have to have it out on the road?
Either way, could work.
You might have to have it out on the road. I don't know, we could ask them.
Apartments don't.
Yeah, that's right. Assisted living, they could put in their little mailboxes. I don't know who does that.
Do you want me to research this a little bit?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
Yep. Somebody get some bonus points for thinking that one up.
Good one. Very Langley.
Very good.
And then if you have things to mail, you don't have to run up there, you just throw it in the mailbox, and they pick them up. Work both
Can you do
ways.
that? I don't know if it goes both ways, does it?
Oh, yeah,
Does it?
I don't know what those mailboxes though.
why wouldn't it?
Could we get a
When they deliver
different,
it,
bigger
you
box
Just need
that
one of the
all of
slots
them
on
go
it.
in?
There's another, just get another
Well-
slot for outgoing, I suppose. Right,
That's like an assisted living. There's a slot
Yeah.
mail. Oh, so he just cleans that box out.
Sure.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, you look into it.
Okay.
Beer and liquor licenses, fees. John.
So, as we brought up last meeting, I don't think it's fair that we're picking on any one business and charging them a fee when not many businesses in Griggs County. We don't charge restaurants, we don't charge gas stations. We're charging a liquor license fee and a beer license fee. I'd like to see that go to a real minimal fee, $5 for liquor license, $5 for beer license. The state in their ultimate wisdom has mandated that we charge $100 per liquor license at a minimum and $50 as a minimum for a beer license.
Thought it was 200.
200, excuse me, if 6 months would be 100, yeah. Any idea why the state would mandate what a county charges for a liquor license? Jamie?
No.
I don't either.
Unless
They have the ability to charge their own, they charge their own fee. There's a state fee in there for liquor and beer also.
right,
They have their own permit. or their own
So
license.
they need two, they need one from the county and one from the state?
Well, the county keeps it.
The county can't, but they, a minimum, we can't charge $5. We have to charge $200 for the liquor and $50 for the beer. Now,
No
why in the
leeway
world?
in there whatsoever, huh?
Oh,
Well, it's just right in the century code. Just
It's right on the
stated
century
right in
code.
the century
No
code.
way.
I'm not 100% sure.
well, I don't think anybody is, but I
And the
mean,
reason that John brought this up is because that Red Willow deal's a seasonal deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so try to promote somebody to do that business, because I'm sure it's not a killer,
no.
and we can't lower it to $5.
So here, it's 5-2-3. The fee for an annual local on and off sale liquor license must be set by ordinance or resolution at not less than $200 nor more than $2,000. Except for outside the corporate limits of a city, the fee may not exceed $1,000. The fee for an annual on and off sale beer license must be set by ordinance or resolution at not less than $50 nor more than $500. The fee for an annual local exclusive on sale liquor license must be set by ordinance or resolution at not less than $200, not more than $2,000. Except outside corporate city limits, the fee must not exceed $1,000. So the least we can charge
It's too
is $200 and $50, but it says the fee, that it can be prorated.
Oh,
So like on a monthly or prorated for how many months or?
Yeah.
So we could have charged him for 6 months.
Well, anyway, I think
I
we
mean,
should.
we could lower that to $100.
I believe that we should.
Well, don't
adopt-
didn't we do that for Sutton?
This is 6 months. This isn't a year.
It's $350 for the liquor license.
Yeah.
Well, we're
That's a
getting-
year, isn't it?
No, this is
6
for
months.
6
Yeah,
months.
That's what Sutton
Yeah.
is too, right?
And then Sutton gets theirs every 6 months too.
How
and
much
that's
is it
what
in
this-
Bedford for?
We don't know it's city.
Which city?
We don't do the cities.
Because I found out in Cooper that it's about $1,200
Yeah.
a
You
year.
said the max a city can charge is 2,000?
Yeah.
How does Fargo get by charging tens of thousands of dollars?
Yeah,
They charge $200,000.
Shit, some of them are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily the city
No.
charging that, that's how much you
That's-
pay the individual for the license.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like they're open
That's the
market.
Like an open
secondary
market.
That's the
They're open
secondary
cry, huh?
Yeah.
that's a one-time deal.
Yes, that's a one-time deal if you buy a business, so they're subject to open market costs.
Because they have
Is
a
it because-
limited number of
They limited
licenses.
the licenses, so they made it a rare
They
commodity.
made them
Meat
work.
stock.
That's why they're always arguing about when they add more liquor licenses. Because it decreases the people that hold them in their value. Sure.
Yeah, about a month ago, they had a lottery. I think they increased it for every 10,000 people in Fargo and they had a lottery.
Wasn't there two people that wanted it and there was only one license?
Yeah.
So I would like to set the county fees at the minimum, $200 for a year-long liquor license and on or off sale, and $50 for 1 year beer on and off sale. And then I would like to make this retroactive to January 1st,
Isn't the beer a minimum 100?
50.
So 25 for 6
I
months.
think, hang on here, maybe it's 100.
Okay, beer.
At not less than $50 nor more than 500.
Oh,
50 for beer per year.
Well, we're just discussing this.
That's every 6 months, isn't it?
No, that's per year.
And then 200 for liquor. Right.
200 for liquor. We've just been breaking it down for every 6 months because that's all they were. Sutton was doing that because that's all they.
Augie was trying to unload it.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't want a year if he could get rid of it next month, so.
Right.
Right.
So I would move.
We need a resolution, right?
Yep.
So you can.
I'm going to move to have Jamie draw up a resolution setting the cost for an on-off sale liquor license at $200 annually, and the cost for an on-off sale beer license at $50 annually. and make it retroactive back to January 1st,
And we
2018.
have the option to prorate it according to the.
And option to be prorated on a monthly basis.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Aye. Mark?
No.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. Oh,
That's the minimum.
zones.
David wanted me to let him know when this was coming up so he can come in. I'll do that right now.
So John read this, I didn't look at it. We need to do something by March 21st?
Yeah.
Nominations will be made by the governor by March 31st.
Did you send this to me?
I got this in an email.
I sent it this morning.
This our own version of the EZ zone?
Okay, so I just read it real quick, but this one allows for individuals to deduct monies put into these empowerment zones, or whatever they're calling them now. They're calling them opportunity zones. So the way I read it, if somebody wanted to come in and start a business in one of these opportunity zones, and they would be able to have a greater deduction or a speeded up reduction on the money spent in the zone. Which, as long as it's private, it's aimed at private equity. It's not aimed at any government equity, the way I see it. So if you click on that website,
So we have to put in an application to be nominated?
that's right. And the application's on the website, and I told David to download the application, and so I've got it right here. It says one application must be submitted for each census tract seeking opportunity designation. And you can do it as a county. Let's see. County, city, or tribe.
Census zone tract? I don't even know the answers to these questions. Are you looking at the application?
So the consensus tract number of the area seeking would be Griggs County. That's the zone. You can either do a city, a county, or a tribal boundary.
Well, it looks like some counties even have different zones with it.
Yeah, it says view listing of consensus tract numbers. So click on that. Griggs County is
Left out.
left out.
Griggs, Cooperstown, there it is.
There we go. Griggs, our number is
38039968 So the question is, do we want to put an application in?
Yeah, I don't think it hurts putting an application in case there is one of the businesses in town that wants to
Take advantage
make
Or
use of
anywhere
it,
in the county.
or anywhere in the country that wants to make use of it.
Right.
So we're not obligating any money to it, it's allowing them to get a tax benefit from it.
Right. Okay.
David coming?
I messaged him.
And it looks like the governor's letter said the 21st, but it looks like the date is actually the 19th. Deadline to receive applications from local decision makers, March 19th, 2018. City County.
What did it say? Sorry. There's more in the fridge if you want some.
How many pages is this form you have to fill out?
It's just Wester's writing.
Okay.
Not much, I mean, it could be as comprehensive as you want, but I think the basic thing is just the bottom, name, title, which county, please select which officer approved the submittal process. Click on that. Click.
I don't think.
Yeah,
Sent to the
answer.
auditor? Can you do
No, I will have it to tax director, so it says add new answer, so you just have to put it in.
auditors?
No. It gives you, it's a drop-down box. Could be
It was
auditor,
sent to me.
County
Yeah,
auditor,
they
city
said it
auditor.
was sent.
We'll click add new answer. Then you just get to put it in there. Text director.
Okay. I have no tax bill. Yeah, absolutely, I think we. Oh, yes.
Hi, David.
David?
Print it off. Some of
Yeah.
that
Why,
information.
you understand it more than we do now, I'm sure.
Okay, well, hopefully.
Is it a big deal? It doesn't look like a very big deal.
Well, looking at our odds of getting it, I would say it's unlikely. I can pass it around what
Yeah.
it looks like. It pretty much,
I got that already.
based on what I could understand of it, is the governor can designate an area as an opportunity zone.
Right.
And so if it's an opportunity zone, there's a thing they created an opportunity fund, and it essentially would give some essentially income tax benefits to people who would invest in building something
Yeah.
in Griggs County.
Yeah.
I would say, let's see, because so the governor, Griggs County, we're not a low income community, but we technically have a tiny little, border with an area in Barnes that is a low income community, Ariska, and so
That's Dale's house.
Yeah.
it's,
But we're not exempt from applying.
No.
no, we could apply, but I was
So it's up to the governor to accept or deny the application. Yeah.
Well,
So
there might be communities,
And he
the way
loves
it sounds
us.
of Ariska.
well, okay, so because Griggs County, we're not a low-income community, so the only way we're eligible, we're contiguous to a low-income area, and so we could be designated if the only low-income community that we border is Oriska. And so if Oriska was designated as well, then we would have the possibility to, as long as our medium family income doesn't exceed 125% of Oriska's. I don't know what that is off the top of my head.
Well, let's send it in and let them make the decision.
It's all based on the last census
Sure.
numbers is what they used.
If we can get it.
And like, if we can get it, it's something to, would be something to advertise to
Sure.
people that wanted to invest in Griggs County.
The thing that, I think the empowerment zone still is going on. I think that's still in the city of Cooperstown.
That's on the other end.
So-
Touch both ends.
Yeah, both sides.
There, we'd be contiguous to an empowerment zone.
I think that's different.
Get something altogether different. But sometimes those federal grants work together also when you.
This isn't federal money.
And you,
Oh, isn't it?
this isn't money.
It's
This,
private.
this is
Private.
Okay.
this is giving tax advantage to private individuals that are willing to invest.
Yeah.
Hang on,
Exactly.
what that was, too.
Well, it's
Yeah.
federal dollars.
Yeah, but it was tax.
Yeah, this is private dollars, and they get the
Okay.
tax advantage.
Oh, they get the tax
They get the
advantage.
private
Yeah,
investors.
if you wanted to build a low-income
Sure.
housing project here, you would get a tax advantage if we were designated for doing so.
Sure.
Because it says for investors to
Yep.
pool money into opportunity funds, and then it says a temporary tax deferral for capital gains invested in an opportunity fund, a step up in basis for capital gains reinvested in an opportunity fund, and a permanent exclusion from taxable income of capital gains if the investment was held at least 10 years.
These people are using their gains from stocks and mutual funds to
And
invest.
rolling into,
Um,
I mean, it's a long shot, but I mean,
Sure.
if it's not a big deal, could you turn that in, David? I mean, it doesn't have to be extensive, you just gotta get our
Yeah,
name.
I mean, I could, I'll pass out if you look there, the questions that they ask. I'd probably need to reach out to someone at the city or
Yeah.
empowerment zone or whoever knows some of Cooperstown a bit better. But I could try and, fill out as best as I can, and then,
I don't think it has to be extensive, I think it just needs to get our name into the,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, the worst they can say is no.
Right, yep. I read the application, I mean, it's all pretty generic, they don't ask for any specific numbers to speak
And
of.
if they want to, they can ask for further
Yeah.
clarification or something. So that, I think the deadline there is the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need to get a letter from the city or county or someone.
On the application form that allows, it says other, whoever's on, you can put your tax director in there, I think that'll qualify.
Okay. So I can submit the application as well as the letter. Yeah, I mean, worst they can say is no. I don't know what our odds are, but it'd be something to say Griggs County is a opportunity zone, and
Yeah. Well, I look at it the other way around, if we don't do it and someone then
That's right.
wants to take advantage of it, and then we drop the ball,
And
then,
we could have qualified.
right.
That's right.
And it doesn't say how long the designation lasts, so.
No.
I think this is under the new tax law, so.
Yeah, could work out for Red Bull. Who knows?
Don't know. Good. I would make a motion that we authorize, request David to fill out the application for the opportunity zone.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to request that David turn in the application for the opportunity zone. Moved by John, seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And then, Who should I list as the, it says who is the contact person that will manage Opportunity Zone?
You
I'll
are.
just put mine. And then,
Who would manage the opportunity? We don't know what we're managing.
I know, but I mean, that's all, they just need a contact to start with.
Does the census zone tract include Main Street, Renaissance zone, or potential?
Mhm.
Main Street.
3 of them.
I'm on the Renaissance board too.
Yeah. Mark's probably able to fill that out. He probably knows most of those answers.
well, if I could visit with you. And, see
Sure.
at some
Sure.
point in the
I'm
next
trying to
week.
think who's on the fireman zone.
From
But
Cooperstown?
it's probably changed. No.
John Goplin's still on there? No, he moved Fargo.
Yeah.
No clue.
Wasn't Beth Berge on there?
Yep, she was working, she was on it, she worked there.
Oh, she still does work there.
Mm-hmm.
She's not on.
Who's that?
Beth Berge.
Okay.
She lives in Daisy now. I think she drives back and forth.
She still works there.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I thought
I was
so.
in there and did some stuff with Empower not too long ago. She's still there.
Warren Enyart is the kind of the grand poopah, or I mean, he's the general manager, or whatever they call him. He lives here.
Okay, reach out to him.
Do you know him? Warren?
Or
Warren Enyart?
Never heard of him.
Really?
But that's a different deal, that's Empower, that's different from the empowerment zone, correct?
N power and M power.
Yeah, he's the one that with the wind towers.
That's M
Oh.
power.
He's different than the empowerment zone.
Doesn't he work for the empowerment zone?
Empower is a private entity.
Yeah, he's a private entity, that's who he worked for and they're trying to set another one up, Minnesota somewhere anyway, different deal. It might have been working through the empowerment, it might have been able to be here because of the empowerment zone, but it's a different deal.
The Empowerment Zone's webpage doesn't give me an error message.
What's the guy from Hope?
City Hall's gotta know who's on the empowerment zone.
yeah.
I would think.
Did we vote?
Well,
Did we vote?
all eyes, no nays, and carried.
Okay.
Send some calls around and she got some emails.
If you need to, I would call, like, I got the same 402 error. If you go to the Empower website, you'll get a phone number, at least you'll get in the right building.
Okay.
Then you can, I don't know if Warren or Beth will answer the phone, but you'll get somebody that will help you.
Okay.
Okay?
Point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Divya.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Employee manual. Son of a gun, I forgot to review that again. You guys ready to talk about that?
You want to look at it?
Well, here's what I remember. I looked at it before the last meeting, and then we didn't end up doing much. There are 3 policies in that thing that deal with maternity leave, and they're not all the same. So I don't know if we want to review those 3 areas or get rid of it in some areas. I mean,
I was wondering if we should talk about maybe moving away from sick leave and vacation and
just have PTO.
PTO. I don't really know if there's any financial advantage to the county to PTO or sick leave, or I don't know how you would determine that. If you give people a little more vacation, or a little, they have their vacation, you have the PTO to it, and take away the sick leave days if more time is spent away.
Yeah, well, the only way that would come into play are 2 ways. One, if people are abusing their sick leave and using all 12 of their accrued days every year. Or they had a real serious illness, somewhere down the road when they had a lot of sick time accrued.
Maybe that should be done with new hires and let this phase out, like the
Well,
first thing.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you could let the accruals stay in place and give everybody more PTO than they had vacation, and then just go forward from there. What it would do in some, and that's what we did at NODAC. I think everybody got 4 more days, and then it was all PTO.
And then what do you
I would
what
imagine
do you do with the accrued stuff now then?
it just stayed on the books.
But you can't use it for sick leave?
Well,
Well, you could.
You've earned the benefits. So
But you just don't gain your 8 hours
a
a
month.
month for.
Right. I got it. So when I left there, I had 1,500 hours of sick leave on the books or whatever. I mean, that's one of those benefits, you use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Did you update this manual?
The last time I updated it was.
Should be on the front cover when it was.
January 17 it says.
Yep.
What color got an old one? One was 2011.
After Monday,
We just got this.
who can determine the courthouse won't be open?
What happened on Monday?
No, we had our snowstorm thing or whatever.
We had a
A
snowstorm?
week ago Monday.
You did?
We had to go Monday.
I drove-
When the roads were
I
so
drove
bad.
his grader and carrying
Good for you.
What's
Your wife said, "Get out."
What storm?
I don't know, it snowed, didn't notice a storm, really.
But I mean, who has that responsibility?
That's what got revised in the manual is now the courthouse is always open. If you can't get to work, then you have to take the
Vacation
vacation.
time.
I know the FSA office is set up off the school. If they call off school, the office is closed. They don't want their employees to even try to get there.
So do they get paid for not coming, or do they have to take vacation to fill it in?
With the size of the school districts nowadays,
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's poor policy. It doesn't take much for the schools to call off school. Dakota Prairie called off school Monday and Tuesday.
I think Carrington called it off Sunday before it even snowed.
We were in Carrington on Sunday and it was just fine. I don't. There's enough people that live in town. Somebody can come down here and turn the lights on.
Yeah, but is anybody gonna show up anyway?
I don't know who shows up at the courthouse anyway.
Well,
I mean, they still can do
Still got
whatever
work
they
to
do.
yeah, yeah.
The bank's going to be open. The post office most likely is going to be open. We didn't even miss mail on Monday. Why would we close the door?
I'm just wondering what the policy is for what we
We don't have one.
just open every day.
It's open Monday through Friday except for holidays.
I really think we should have something.
Yeah.
Our employees, I don't think they should have to be driving in these roads.
They don't have to. They can make the call.
Yeah.
I made the call every day for 7 years going to Grand Forks. 13 before that going to Finland.
Yeah.
That should not be our job to make that call. The employee can make that call.
I could look into that though and see what their policy is at FSA, if it's get paid or not. I don't think they are. But at least they don't have to use up vacation days or whatever, it's just not paid. The office,
We already have a policy, they have to use vacation if they don't come, right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, they can, if they came and asked us to give them unpaid leave, I don't know that we'd say no. What's the difference?
So what's the question? If we close the,
When we close the court.
yeah,
If it
well,
was to happen,
okay, so what's the concern? That if we close it, that they still receive compensation for the day it's closed? Because if that's not what we're talking about, then it doesn't matter. If you don't come in, you don't come in, you know?
yeah. But I think it's just a matter of, so people realize that the courthouse is closed, you know, so that even the people that are coming to use it or to use the people. I mean, you'd hate to see somebody come even in town and drag up here and then find out that nobody's there because they couldn't get there.
That happens every day.
Don't happen every day, I don't think. I mean, people dragging up here?
People drive up here and there's nobody in the office. Yeah, it does happen every day.
Oh, I haven't had that issue. But yeah, I'd just like to see something of some sort that somehow or another we could call it, when at least the people of the community would know they'd be here, it wouldn't be opening that day.
How would they know anyway?
Oh, same way they're notified of School closings.
Steele
Those
County
types of
was
things.
closed on Monday and it was notified on Valley News Live.
Who what?
Steele County was closed.
So Troy, I think the questions on the maternity leave are pretty well answered in here.
No, no.
Yeah, okay, so go to page 13. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it goes with all shorter lifetime.
Then it's also addressed on page.
Yeah, I got 3 different places. Yep, and 27.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so page 13, and you go down to sick leave benefits.
Yep.
It defines it in the first paragraph.
Yep.
Temporary absence due to illness or injuries, and then
Yep.
it goes down the next paragraph. Sick leave may be used only for an illness or injury, which are the prime words there, sustained by that employee, or illness or injury sustained by a member of the employee's immediate family.
Yep.
Okay, now go to page 24. This is the one that deals with the payment. The county may provide unpaid medical family leave to eligible employees who are temporarily unable to work due to medical disability, to care for the employee's child after childbirth, or placement for adoption or foster care. Now go to 27. Last paragraph. Requests for time off associated with pregnancy, adoption, and/or childbirth, apart from medical disabilities associated with these conditions, will be considered in the same manner as any other request for unpaid leave. Now, of course, that only applies to employees. That doesn't apply to anybody else. But that's what we have in the manual.
Okay.
So in my interpretation of that, sick leave does not qualify as maternity leave, or vice versa.
That's how we're using it. So
That's how I read it.
No, I do too.
Right.
So, then what?
Well, I mean, we either change it or we leave it the way it is, but under this scenario, it goes on to say also that we have to comply with the
ADA,
ADA, which is 12
or the
weeks.
family medical leave
84
act.
days.
Yeah, 84 days, but not paid vacation, just the ability to be off work and the ability to have
You
your
have
job.
to provide the leave, you don't have to,
Right. You don't
once the
have to provide-
vacation is gone, you don't have to pay them.
No, and you have to provide their job when they come back.
Right.
Right.
But in the case of the deputy recorder, that was sick leave that was used there, I think, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah. So she was gone for what, 12 weeks?
12 weeks, yeah.
So it,
It was vacation and sick leave, I think.
no, but sick leave isn't available for that.
Vacation would be.
Absolutely.
Vacation would be. Sick
Vacation
leave-
is for whatever you want to use it for.
Under this, sick leave would not be eligible for maternity leave.
Okay,
That's what all this reads.
okay.
And thusly, donated sick leave would not be eligible for maternity leave either.
Well, that's on a case-by-case basis anyway. We would have known
yeah.
about that.
But I mean, you can't undo what's been done.
No, she doesn't work here anymore.
Right.
So, going forward is what I'm worried about. So, do we have Jamie write a letter to the elected officials or what? And the elected officials don't have to follow the policy book?
The elected officials do not have to follow the policy book when it comes to
Absenteeism.
absenteeism. That's correct. And that's per the Attorney General, correct? Or the opinion of that?
So that's just a budget time issue.
That's correct.
Okay.
But the elected officials or the department heads are responsible for,
Enforcing the policies. That's why I'm asking now what.
okay. Well, I mean, how do we ensure that the policy is enforced? Jamie?
That's tough because I think that same Attorney General's opinion also, or maybe another one, that gives the elected officials to run the office as they see fit too.
So this only applies to the road department? I don't think those guys are gonna have trouble.
No, and social services, tax director.
But they're kinda under the state rules. We don't get to do much with the social
Right.
services either.
Right. Tax director, I suppose, extension agent's office.
Extension is an employee of the university.
Well, so the question is our employees manual in violation of state rules?
Well,
Do we have to allow sick leave? Do we have to allow sick leave to be used for maternity leave? Our employees manual says no. Do we have to pay somebody for maternity leave?
well, the FML, my understanding of the FMLA is that they have the right to 12 weeks of maternity leave, but it doesn't have to be paid.
That's correct.
So, without researching this more, I would say, no, it's not contrary to law, not allowing sick
Okay.
time. But I think if you were to compare the county to other employers, I think that sick leave is allowed at other places of business.
So we either have to change the policy or enforce the policy.
Well, I think that's, I mean, can't have a policy and not enforce it.
Right. The people that I checked with, and I only called a few places, they did allow it.
I think Nelson County does, and I think most places
But I think
do allow it.
2 out of 3 of those, or maybe all 3, also had short-term disability. So they would use 4 or 5 days of sick leave and their short-term disability to kick in, and then away you go. I think short-term disability typically kicks in within 13 days or something. I suppose it depends on the policy. But I think they made them use some vacation and then some sick leave and then the short-term disability kick in. Which I suppose that would, even that being a disability would even be a question under some policies.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I don't think there's any. I couldn't find a normal.
I think everybody treads pretty lightly on the Family Medical Leave Act because I don't think anybody really wants to test out a lawsuit because I think it could get expensive and a publicity nightmare for most places.
Okay.
I
mean, we could wait, take care of it a bunch.
But
don't care.
I can do some research and just make some calls. I can see what Nelson County does. I think they allow medical leave for FMLA, but I don't know if anybody's had their kids since I've been up there.
Right. Well, you have to allow leave.
Right, but I mean, as far as being able to use,
Right.
as far as being able to use sick time, and I can have Paige make some calls to other counties and see what they're doing.
I'm more interested in what happens in the real world than in the government world. But.
Well, and I can check with some private enterprises. But as far as I know, it seems like every one of my friends that have kid leave, and it seems like they're maternity leave, and I think they're using sick leave. But I don't think many of them have that much accrued, so I think they take as much as they can.
Sure. Is there anything else we need to visit about? With the policy book? That PTO thing, I mean, that should be a budget time discussion, I think. Don't you, Dale?
Yeah, that would be appropriate. It's not something you want to jump into mid-budget cycle.
Can't really change it right now.
No.
Does that need to be tabled and come up at a next meeting? Or
Well,
anything?
Jamie's gonna make some phone calls, so we'll talk
I'll
about
make some
it.
checking and see what everybody else is.
Because if we're gonna allow sick leave to be used for maternity leave, we should change that.
It looks like the state allows 80 hours of family sick leave to care for someone other than yourself in a calendar year.
So that's 2 weeks. Where are you at now?
The state, you have the state's
Oh, you have the state's manual?
human resource and procedures.
Oh.
It's in the back of the documents.
I don't have my binder. I got it. I must have lost it. Or something. Housekeeping, maybe threw it away.
Yeah.
Do you need something extra?
No.
No.
Okay. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
I have something on that. Have you guys looked at the cement lately after you started using salt on it?
Oh, here?
Yeah, in the back and in the front. And that cement must have frozen when they were doing it because it's really taking off.
I don't think that's from the salt. It's everywhere. It's even in the parking area. I think that whole finish is going to come off of that thing. We'll see what happens. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I noticed it
How long has it been since it was put in?
last fall.
Last fall? I don't think you're supposed to use salt until for a year after.
Well, I don't know if they are not using salt in the whole parking lot, are they?
Are they? I don't know. I haven't seen up front as much as in the back. I
It
know
was spalling or flaking off before we had it.
But I think that's from it freezing more so than using salt. If that stuff would have froze before it was dry, that's what happens to cement.
I don't know. We'll have to wait till the summer and see what it looks like. else? Future business?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved by Dale, seconded by Mark to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, meeting adjourned at 4 o'clock. Next meeting will be on the 24th, I suppose, 23rd.
23rd, and you have a special meeting on the 15th.
Special meeting on the 15th with township officers.